Hello, everyone, and welcome in. Today is Monday, March 25th, and we'll be taking a look at what all energies are coming in for you from God, Spirit, the Divine. So I hope everyone had a good weekend. Maybe got to get out and enjoy some nice weather. So let's see. Let's jump in today and see what's coming through for the collective. Seems like there's a lot of energy kind of floating around right now with Mercury retrograde shadow starting to come into play here because Mercury retrograde starts on April 1st. So very exciting. Gotta love it. All right. We have the Devil in reverse. We have the Hermit. And we have the Two of Wands. So overall, in terms of the energy for the collective, this is about breaking free from these cycles that are keeping us off of our highest timeline. So this can be breaking free of addictions, whether it's to substances, whether it's addictions to certain behaviors, whether it's addictions to certain people. Because remember, not everybody in your life, if it's a toxic connection, those are things that there's a lesson there about how do you break free from that? How do you live in your highest timeline? Then we have our Hermit energy, which is about kind of having that deep reflection and discovering that inner wisdom and being able to hold that lantern and light the way for other people. And then we also have our Two of Wands energy. So this is that energy of personal power and travel and making decisions and saying, okay, no, enough. I am going to stand up to this Devil in reverse energy. So overall, this is the energy of the collective as we begin Monday. So let's see what all messages we have individually for the sign groupings, and we will go from there. Alrighty. Oh, I'm all out of order here. All right. So let's start with our air signs, which is our Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So what wants to come in for you? So the one that flipped, we have the World and Lovers. So both of those flipped. I'll pick one more that's not a flipping card, and then we'll kind of pull them all together. And then we have the Magician. So since we have an awful lot of cards here, so these are the ones that are coming out for air signs. So with the Magician, this is about transmuting, it's transforming those heavier energies and bringing yourself into a higher timeline. The World is the completion of a certain cycle. So with the Lovers card coming up, this is that kind of indicator that this is likely related to a relationship, that in terms of breaking free of this Devil energy and kind of having this period of reflection. So a couple things with that. For one, the Lovers that's Gemini. It is about communication. It's also about making choices and finding balance and harmony and equilibrium. So this end of a cycle that's coming up here, this World card, is making a different choice and moving away from some of this toxic energy that's in a relationship of yours. So all these cards together, and I guess I could probably hold the Magician as well. But you've got all of these cards that are pointing out that you have different choices that you're making, and you're moving away from these darker, stagnant energies. So that's really what's going on for our air signs. Now let's see with some of our other cards here, what other context we can have. So, I mean, this message is coming through pretty loud and clear that something needs to change, whether you're actually leaving behind a specific partner or whether you are saying, okay, enough is enough with whatever cycle you're going through. What is the lesson that you're supposed to be learning? And, by standing up to this Devil energy and breaking free of it, that is what's going to wrap up this cycle of this lesson that you're learning as it relates to love and relationships. So the card here was Adversity. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. So, unfortunately, most of our healing and growth and learning comes from the hard times. It's not necessarily from the warm and fuzzy times that we're learning these lessons. And when you talk to athletes, they say they learn more from their failures or their losses than they do from their wins. Reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. So this could be a matter of once you're able to break free from some of this energy, once you're able to break free from um, this conflict, this rut, this pattern, that somebody from the past comes back in. And then we have ending a trauma, transform memories and symptoms. So whatever trauma it is that was keeping you hostage, essentially, that's what you're breaking free of. You're getting out of this devil energy. You're getting out of this mindset of, well, but what if I'm not, what if I'm not good enough? What if I put this boundary in place and the other person says, nope, I don't care. I'm not going to do that. And you're forced to walk away. And so there's this spiraling pattern here of allowing things to push further than you want because you're afraid of what happens if you use your voice and say no. But that's something that you need to be comfortable with, using your voice to say no and stand up for yourself, for your inner child, and be able to move into those higher timelines. So that was our message for air signs. And now we will move on to our fire signs and see what messages are coming through for our fire signs. Death. So this is something that's coming to an end. So there's whatever these patterns are, and this is going to go with your devil in reverse card. This is going to be that sense of something is coming to an end. You're breaking free from whatever addiction is keeping you from your highest path. That's what you're being pushed to let go of right now, fire signs. So that's, it may put you in this reflective period, and maybe it takes reflection for you to get the strength to move on from that. But when you start to look at this from a lessons perspective, and not necessarily what's happening directly in front of my face right this very minute, but what are the lessons? If you can step yourself back and look at this story unfolding and saying, wonder what this main character is supposed to be learning, then you can see what it is that needs to go. All right. Peace. I'm a being of love and I release all negative energy. So this is death to anything that's not causing you peace. So remember, peace and truth have a certain vibrational frequency. It's going to feel different in your body. And when you're at peace, everything else feels different to you. So if this is related to a relationship, there was a quote from, and Johnny Depp had said this during the Amber Heard trial or whatever, and said the worst prison in the world is a home without peace. Be careful who you marry and who you fall in love with. And with that, when you don't have peace at home, which is where you're supposed to feel that sanctuary, that can disrupt your entire flow. It can disrupt your entire purpose here. So this death card is calling on you to release whatever addictions, whether it's chemical addictions, whether it's behavioral addictions, whether it's people addictions that are keeping you from your peace. Heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. So, there comes a point in time in life where you have to have open and honest conversations, and it can be scary. It can be very vulnerable, but that's how you're going to make progress. That's how you're going to be able to leave some of these other things behind. It's how you're going to be able to heal and grow. And with this one, when I was looking at that, at her core, she has the same color of peace. This is the decision point right now. This personal power in making a decision is choosing the path that will give you peace. It may not give you peace right away, but that's the long term. And then this says, fine wine. Longing is the portal to wholeness. So with that, it's that idea of, your heart and your soul are going to long for whatever whatever's bringing you peace, whatever's bringing you happiness, and follow that. So most of the time, people don't long for drama. They don't long to be mistreated. They don't long to be neglected. They long for peace. And as you resist that, the resistance to that is what's causing you struggle. So when you're feeling unhappy, when you're feeling ill at ease, and like, oh, there's just no peace for me, it's because you're not in alignment with what your heart and soul know to be the right place for you. So that was our message for our fire signs. And so now we are on to our earth signs. So that is going to be our Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Let's see what messages are coming through for Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. The moon. So this is about lies and trickery. And sometimes it's what are the lies that we're telling ourselves. Other times it's what are the lies that other people around us are telling us. So we had the balance card was what jumped, and then we have health. So for balance, it says, I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world. I do so without judgment. So balance is also about acknowledging where you are on your path, where somebody else is on their path, and not trying to force anything in either direction, just letting it be, letting it balance. And then we have health. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. So with this moon card, some of it is also going to be, as you're sitting here in this place where you're making a decision, and what are you going to do? Are you going to stay in your devil energy, or are you going to break through that? So the universe is pushing for you to break through, break free of that. But with the moon, there's those lies, those illusions, a sense of trickery. So you have to be mindful of that you may be getting pushed on with devil energy. Passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. So some of this is to stop cutting off your flow of emotions and your flow of feelings, whether it's because you're not in the right situation, so that part of you has been cut off, or maybe you're intentionally withholding your feelings from somebody else. But this is that card to encourage you to let your true feelings shine through, and then that way you can assess the situation. If you're sitting there in an honest, open standpoint, then you can have the discussion. So if some of this is related to making a decision about a relationship, allow your heart to be open when you're talking about it, so that you can have a clear communication there. And it says, make a change, welcome change into your life. So this is about, and this goes very strongly with this balance and health card, that something is really out of balance and it's affecting your physical health. And so, this devil energy, if you are battling with substance abuse, if you're battling with overeating, if you're battling with, whatever, if it's on the mental health side, it's creating issues, physical health issues within your body. And you need to make a change because it's not healthy. It's not sustainable. So that was our message for our earth signs. And now let's move on to our water signs and see what wants to come through. Strength. So you are being called on to have the strength to release whatever is keeping you back, to have the strength to choose that personal power and to say, this is what I'm doing. I need to move forward in my life in a positive, helpful way. And surrender. I can release my need to control. So this is about whatever the situation is that you've been trying to control it, and been having that sense of, well, if I just try a little bit harder, I could influence the outcome. The strength card is the strength in stepping back from that, and the strength in saying, you know what, I'm going to stop these repetitive obsessive behaviors, whatever they are, because you may have been thinking that that's keeping a situation afloat. But what you really need to do is have the strength to surrender to the divine and say, I'm going to back off. I'm going to let the situation unfold the way it's supposed to unfold. And then it says, make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. So some of this, you're being guided to surrender. You're being guided to release that need to control everything. So when it's saying make the effort, that doesn't mean take controlling action. The make the effort is if you're being guided to surrender to the divine, that's what you need to be doing. But also make the effort to release these toxic, repetitive patterns of yours. And then trust your gut feeling. Let your heart lead you to who you are. So trust your gut. Trust that the divine is leading you in the right direction. You just have to have the courage to listen. And you have to have the courage to take your ego out of it and feel what's right for you. So I hope that today's message has been helpful for you, but as always, take only what resonates and leave the rest behind. And if you enjoyed this video, I would encourage you to consider liking it and sharing it with anyone else that you think might benefit from this. Otherwise, I wish you peace and joy along your journey. Until next time.